Good evening, everyone, and welcome to LGE coverage here for Monday's Limitless 1 tier here at LFR for the Chinese Grand Prix. As you can see the track map on your screen now, it is round 2 of ML1. And as you can see, we've got 16 turns around this Shanghai International Circuit, 5.4 kilometers, 3.3 miles in length. The game is giving it a hard track difficulty. The lap record on a racing lap is a 132.238, and we're using the C4, which is the soft, C3 the medium, and C2 the hards, and obviously the inter and the wet tyres. We're just waiting for one more driver to get into the lobby. Not with Lee tonight, with Mr. Basil tonight, aka Barry. How are you doing tonight, Barry?
I'm not too bad at all. Thank you very much for the introduction, and it's a pleasure to be here.
So, as I said, guys, we're just waiting for one more to join. And we do give a little 5-minute notice. We've got 3 minutes of that 5 minutes left to go before we get started. As I said, I was with Lee last week, but Barry did catch the stream in part from last week, and it certainly was a cracker of a race, Barry.
Outstanding. It's some real ability in the Monday Night League. Some very, very speedy boys. And one of the standout things had to be more or less maybe the top 8, the top 10, and how close all them drivers were to each other just through the whole entire race. It was just dumbfounding, really was.
It really was, and hopefully we'll have the same again tonight. We only raced one day last season, well, it was last year now as well, in LFR, and that was Monday. And that was the sprint format, but the quali time for that race was a 1:30 dead, which was 1:31 dead, and that I don't know if we're going to get close to that time. That was set by Vedran. Obviously it was a dry qualifying session, still just waiting a couple more minutes, guys, and then we will get underway. A lot of drivers have been struggling in practice with this track. It does seem to be slightly different from last year's iteration of the circuit in F1 2020. Of course, not been here for a couple of years, started in 2004, where the lap record is still held, actually. See there as well on your screen, by Michael Schumacher. And been here since 2004, but not for the last couple of years, of course, due to the coronavirus pandemic. I think we're going to be starting with 19.
Looks like there's 20 now.
But it looks like we've got 20. Who have we got there? Jace? Barry. Where's the Jace?
It looks like Taylor McKenzie has joined the race today.
So we will have 3 reserves in this race and 17 full-time drivers. We're all getting underway now, and there is the clock ticking down. So of course a standard 18-minute qualifying session just about to begin. Of course then with the 50% Grand Prix, which I think is 29 laps.
28. It's 28 in total.
28 laps, there you go. So as I said, we've got 18 minutes of quali. In about a minute or so's time, they've got to pick their tyre allocation, which there is no point in that because you only get one choice in this year's game. A couple of years ago you got 3 different choices, and it's slowly whittled down to only the single one, but they still give you the choice to pick it for some strange reason. So I said we've got a few seconds to go. We do have 20 again for ML1, as we did last week and had a real cracker last week. Tay Pasta won the race last week with Callie Robbins second, who is the full-time reserve for Rabbi until he comes back, as he's got other commitments to be made. Harry Boat says hi in the chat. Hi Harry, how you doing? Callie Robbins in second, Veloci was third, so that was a McLaren 2-3 for them, so they are leading the constructors, and of course Tay Pasta is leading the drivers championship due to winning the first race of the season, so that is a given. We've got 5 seconds to go until qualifying starts, and we're going to have any rain in this Grand Prix today, in qualifying or the race, or both. We'll find out about qualifying in just a second if it is at the very start. It's hazy. Yeah, I'm all good,
It's
Harry.
looking
Thank
very dirty there, isn't it?
It is looking very hazy. I'm sure Apex Finley will let me know what the weather is like, as he always does. The Aston Martin weatherman. So we're just going to wait for some drivers to come out of the garage. And this track is really heavy on the old tyre wear as well. A lot of drivers were struggling in practice. The 6 or 7 that were in the practice session earlier on. Obviously everyone else has done their own practice, but in the practice session we found out that you could easily have 4 or 5% tyre wear on those soft tyres straight away. 20% chance of rain. No rain, but there may be some rain. We've got a fifth of a chance, Barry, of some rain, so maybe fingers crossed for some mixed conditions. But you do see rain in China quite often, actually.
It's one of them things in the game, isn't it? I mean, you know, you can come out in quali and do the best you can, and set a fast time on the mediums and be in a really lucrative position. But you know, that little bit of rain comes out, you've got to go into the pits, and that's it. Game over. It's anyone's game, really.
It certainly will be. I think it will be a 2-stop if it all stays dry, and looking like it will stay dry. We can only hope for the wet conditions. Got most drivers look like they've got fitted the soft tyre in the pit lane. Obviously we've got around 6 or 7 or 8 now drivers out on their out laps, a few of them on the mediums, but I think people are just skipping that option and using their 3 sets of softs they got available for qualifying. Just watching Lucas A. Germany about to start his lap, coming around into sector 3 now. He comes around the bank in a turn at 13, a really easy place to lose the car there in the race. Got to be really gentle with that throttle pedal. We're going to watch and wait and see the first man to start a lap.
That would be Enro.
It is Enro, so we've got a reserve team of Mercedes tonight. Tim Schwab nor Ruding can make it, nor did the Sour Pancake. As you can see, the Taylor Mackenzie's return to LFR in the Ferrari. So we've got 17 full-times tonight and 3 reserves. And hopefully qualifying will be as closely matched, especially between the 17 full-timers, as it was last week. Might see a bit of a drop-off from some reserves, but potentially not. We are watching Euro, making a run down to the turn 6 hairpin. Obviously takes purple sector 1, Barry, being the first man to set a lap.
It's always my first choice to try and get out first, just so I can say I've set the fastest sector.
Set the benchmark.
Yeah, I mean, it never ends that way. I'm only bottom end of the grid, but hey ho, even if it's for a couple of seconds.
Track is very busy now, Barry. 16 cars out on the circuit. Got a Ferrari just ahead of that Mercedes of Nero, Amir Guna.
Is he going to give him a tow? Or is he going to roll the way?
I think so. He was thinking about getting a tow, but there would have been no point there as he now comes across the DRS line. Seeing them up to around 200 miles an hour or so as they hit the brakes. At 310, 15 kilometers an hour. Comes around the final corner, so he will set the benchmark now. You've got Amir Guna about to start a lap just behind him, just a 32.2 on the softs. Got a Ferrari coming around the final few corners there. Does it look like it was just about to start? I think that was just Amir Guna starting a lap. Got a Haas coming across the line, and that was crossfire strikes. Just a 31.2. 38.9 for Vedran. I don't think that was a representative time there, Barry, as we're seeing the Aston now of Big Weir. I think he's invalidated his lap time, coming down into the turn of 14 hairpin. Turns 14 and 15.
Germany has also got an invalidation on his previous lap.
Cali Robb sets the time of 31.6 there. 2 drivers are in the 31.6s already.
And Big Weir dives back into the pits after invalidating his first attempt.
the inaugural race winner of Season 3, comes across the line in second. Said he didn't like Bahrain, said he doesn't like China. I think this is maybe a little Hamilton tactic going on here, Barry. A lot of
Maybe he
complaining.
just doesn't like F1.
Maybe. So we're just waiting to see. Looks like an Alpha Tauri on an outlap, I think. Merv just about to start his lap. Little secret, my girlfriend Jodie is rooting for Merv Martin to win the title this season. Don't know why, but that is who she's rooting for. Got Apex Finley just about to come over the DRS line there, with Veloci retiring from the session, of course, having a qualifying ban. So we see Apex Finley come across the line now. What time's he going to set? Season 2 champ goes 5th fastest with a 31.7, the lowest of the 31 times as it stands. 5 drivers in the 31s. We'll go with Merv Martin. It's coming around into turn 9.
I'm going to have a quick walk down to the paddock and have a talk with Big Ray and find out what happened on his first lap. It won't be long. I'll be as fast as I can.
Interesting. We've never done that before. So this is a good idea from Mr. Basil here. Merv Martin coming around the banking of turn 13. Down this 1 kilometre straight, so getting up to around 200 miles an hour, as you can actually see on his dash there on the left hand side. As Flea makes a comment about balls to the wall. Obviously my famous comment actually started here, just here actually, at turn 13. Turn 14 and 15. As he now comes around turn 16, the final corner. Welcome everyone who's joining us just now. You're watching Monday's Limitless 1 here at Limitless Formula Racing, the top tier of LFR. Just if you haven't watched last week's video, there is a highlights video on the channel from a few days ago, so quickly check that out, and it has the standings at the end of the video as well, so you can see where everyone finished in race 1. I'll give you a little clue though. Tay Pasta did win the race. Make sure to like, share and subscribe to the video. It really does help. We want to try and get to that 170 before the week's out. That's what I'm hoping for. But thanks very much for all the support from last week's video. It's the most amount of views we've ever had on any LFR video to date. Let's hope we can improve on that one, and hopefully the drivers can improve on last week. Got a high bar they've set themselves though. We'll just go to the MFC Trunders in the Alfa Romeo, down this 1 kilometre back straight towards turns 14 and 15 consecutively across the DRS. Gains you around 10 miles an hour in straight line speeds to hit the brakes at the 100-metre marker board. 180 degrees back onto yourself towards the start finish straight and around turn 16. He was rather cautious with track limits there, didn't want to take too many risks. Goes 10th fastest with 33.1. The times are quite split apart at the moment. Not like we're used to seeing, but we have got some drivers there who've done laps on the mediums. Actually, another driver come across the line there. Not sure what that was. Amina just going slow out of the pit lane. It might have been Stenos actually, set a time. He's gone into the 131s as well. Just watching Big Weir here on an outlap on the medium tyres. Did say he was going to try and start on the medium. He said the tyre deck here is really harsh on these Pirellis. Well, he might get a tow here off the Red Bull of Anthony, I'm guessing here. This might be some teamwork at play, but they're not teammates. But there is some teamwork going on there between two admins. He does give him a bit of a tow. He might try and return the favour down towards turn 1 now. Have to wait and see them, see if that did improve his time. Sorry about that, we just went off Big Weirs. He does come around the final corner, return 16. Manning asked him for the second season in a row, goes 11th fastest on the mediums. We'll start on the fresh tyres as it stands, but he would have wanted to have been a little higher up than that. I think he's going to try and give the South Pancake toe down the back straight, potentially as well. Trund is now moving himself up to 11th, bumps Big Weir down to 12th place. Neuro, one of the reserves tonight, one of 3 in that Mercedes. Just going rather slowly. Got more drivers on out laps now, with 7 minutes and 35 seconds left on the clock for the Grand Prix, the 50%, 28 lap, 155 kilometre Grand Prix. Kelly Robb starting to warm up for a lap. Tapasta takes the fastest first set there. Apologies if you can hear any strange audio noises there. It is coming through my headphones just slightly. Hopefully that will go away as we see him negotiating turn 8 and turn 7 just before that, as you go around turns 9 and 10. Really tricky to get right, those two. It's they all really flow into one another from turn 7 to 10 as he now comes down to the heavy braking zone of turn 11. The awkward turn 12, but then the banking of turn 13 really slingshots you off and on to the back straight. And this will be the best and most prime overtaking opportunity on the circuit today. It was hairpin here. You might see some at turn 1 as well. Turn 6, the hairpin there as well. There might be some opportunistic moves. Tapasta got a little bit greedy there with his track limits. He's in 4th place. Potentially he's going to go, again, no, go straight into the pit lane. Hopefully we'll have Mr. Battle back with us shortly. As we're just seeing Lucas A. Germany. He wasn't with us last week along with Rabbi. He's still not with us. Will be with us next week or the week after, though. We hope, as Kenny Robb is doing a smashing job in replacement of Rabbi at the moment. Coming around turn 13, but not going around it the right way. He does a spectacular drift and ends up facing the wrong way there, and now he's going to have a go on the soft tyres for sure. Doesn't want to try and invalidate himself there though, and gets himself out of the way of traffic. Does get himself round, but around too much. Seeing that Red Bull of Anthony into the pits. Got Kelly Robb taking provisional pole with a 31 dead, the same time as Vedran last season, who is down in 14th at the moment, 14th in 4th at the moment. To apologize for 1:31.4, so 3/10 back from his best time last season. Got some more times coming in there, look like an Alpha Tauri of Civi. I think that was now goes up to 10th place. 9/10 separate the top 10. Top 11 is separated by 1 second. And there is a little bit of drop off towards the back, but I think some of these drivers will be going out for one more attempt. We've got Dazzy, number 1 F1 fan. Hasn't set a lap yet. Did the same thing last weekend and made himself do a one shot. I think it's a little tactic he likes to give himself. Probably likes the pressure of that scenario for him in qualifying. Daniel Guna has also invalidated his lap time. Taylor McKenzie, the reserve in the other Ferrari, coming around the final corner, not the second to last corner. Comes across the line, goes 12th with 32.1. See what drivers are doing laps. Kelly Robb is in the pits. Got yellow flag in sector 3, so we're not able to see the time clock at the moment, but it will come back to us in a second. Just seeing the Merc going quite slowly into turn 16, or not, into the pit lane as we go green now. 3.5 minutes or just over left in the session, so just enough time for everyone to do one more lap. A lot of drivers are in the pits, a few on their out laps. Hopefully we'll be able to show you some really good content today. A really good Grand Prix should be ahead of us, but a lot of drivers don't really do China. It's not on the calendar for last season. And when people use the official calendars, of course, they don't have this one on the calendar, but I really do rate this circuit. It's definitely a good league racing circuit. We've used 20 of the 24 circuits this season and took away the ones we don't think are that great for league racing, i.e. we're not going to see the Monaco Grand Prix in Season 3. Only in Thursday. It has been added to the Thursday calendar, but Monday and Tuesday are running the same races in different orders. So tomorrow night we've got the United States Grand Prix for Tuesday being helmed by Ken Jazz, as he was last night. He was down in 13th at the moment. Make sure to go check that one out from last Tuesday as well as Thursday from last week. Unfortunately, the stream cut off from broom handle towards the end, so we weren't able to see the end of the race. Did see the result of that race with a second stream, but unfortunately wasn't able to catch that. But hopefully we won't have that problem this week. With just over 2 minutes left on the clock. Now we're seeing pretty much everyone starting their outlaps. Martin is on his lap as well as Crossfire Strikes. He's definitely got a bit of an engine glitch going on there. I do apologise. Don't know why we can't. Sorry about this. As we've seen him come across the line in just a few moments, he negotiates turn 16. There's a 1:31 dead as well, but not enough to take provisional pole. We're now with Merv Martin. Sorry, we're having this sound glitch. I'm definitely having it. Anyway, so hopefully no one else can hear it. Anthony moves himself up into third place with 31.2. That was a good time from the Red Bull man there. I think that'll probably be his final lap. He hasn't got enough time to do a cool down lap and get going again. I think we've got it back now. Vedran is coming around the final corner. Has got Stinos just ahead of him. It looked like the dirty air did affect him around the final corner. Goes fourth. There's a Red Bull on. Both Red Bulls are on the second row as it stands. Very close times again in the top 10. As Merv Martin comes across the line now, goes third with a 31.1. These times are as close as they were last week. Bugs Bunny comes across the line. I think he's just starting a lap. He is down in 6th place. Checker is now out. Taylor McKenzie and Ami Aguna cannot improve on their time. Top 12 is separated by 1 second, it says Phoenix, and that certainly is a very, very good performance. Still got drivers like Ken Jazz and Trunders. They're trying to set times now. Dazzy number 1 fan comes across the line with a 32.5. That wasn't a good enough lap for him. Big Weir is into the pits with that 31.6. Just going to wait to work out who's going to be the next driver to cross the line. Not too sure. Looks like it could be MSC Trunders. It would have been, but he has invalidated his lap time. There is a driver behind of not too sure who that was. Got anyone moving up the field? Sorry, getting a little bit of confusion going on here. Cali Rob has invalidated his lap time. He can't do it any better, nor can he start another lap. He has spun out at the final corner though. Is that going to cause an instant? Cali Rob is actually out at the final corner, so drivers do need to be careful as they come across the line. Bugs Bunny is now about to come across the line. So the glitch is really bad now. Can't hear anything. I do apologise, as Bugs Bunny does ruin his final lap there. As we're seeing other drivers come across the line, as you can see, I don't think anyone is going to knock him off his perch. Merv is going into the pit. Merv Martin will be in third. And I think that is the end of qualifying. It is, as Vedran has invalidated his lap. And so again, apologies for the audio glitches there. Hopefully it'll be sorted for the race. But Cali Rob does take pole position with a 31.0 again. And that looks like we've got the top 14 within 8/10 of each other. And the top 14 within just over a second. That is impressive once again. That's even closer. So from 14th to first is 8/10. A 31 dead, a 31.036 for Cali Rob. And Stenov's got himself a 31.888. So, as I say, Cali Rob, the American, takes pole position. Crosswire Strikes is on the front row for a second week in a row. We're taking pole last week, but starts in second this time around. Merv Martin is in third. Anthony is fourth. Vedran is fifth. Starting sixth is Bugs Bunny. Seventh is Tay Pasta. Lucas Germany is in eighth. Ninth is Big Weir. Apex Finley is 10th. 11th is Civi Roo. 12th is Neuro. Chemjazz is in 13th. 14th is Stinos. Taylor McKenzie is in 15th. 16th is Dazzy. Trunders is 17th. 18th was BKS. I didn't see he was 19th, but thought he was starting 20th with that quali ban. Just 1 second. We'll find out where Barry. So, just had a little refreshment, guys. Sorry about that. We've got 15 seconds now left on the clock before the start of the formation lap. Just a few seconds for the drivers to sort out their setups, tweaks to their setups, and of course their all-important strategy and fuel load for the race. So we'll just take a quick look at the tyre situation. And looks like everyone outside the top 10 is starting on either the hards or the mediums. Fortunately, we've still got that little sound glitch going on. Hopefully, we won't have that the entirety of the race. Dazzy and Taylor McKenzie have both been disqualified from the formation lap. Not a good start for those two. A lot of dust being kicked up there. I do apologise. Guys, I'm just trying to sort out this audio glitch. It is rather irritating. I did have it before last season for a race. It was just the most awful echoing sound, which I'm getting right now. Hopefully, it won't be too distracting. So I'll just be back with you in a few seconds' time before this 28 lap Grand Prix for Monday's Limitless 1. Rob has actually got a big gap there to his competitors behind him. Crossfire Strikes is in no rush. Hopefully the audio will sort itself out. We will have Barry back in a few moments' time, and hopefully he'll be able to tell us a bit about what's been going on in qualifying with some of the drivers. As we've got Cali Rob just forming up on the grid. Just waiting for the final group of drivers to form up, which is Veloce, Ayuv. Last time I'll say it, apologies for the audio. Hopefully it will get better, but hopefully we'll have a great race in stall. As we're going to see the lights get underway now. We have them 3, 4 and 5 red lights. And we're away for Monday's Limitless One for the Chinese Grand Prix. It looks like Calirol got himself a really good start there, along with Merv Martin, who goes into second place. As we go into turn 1, we've got the Red Bull and the Alpine side by side there. Now the Williams alongside him as well. Crossfire Strikes is under threat from Bugs Bunny as they come around turn 2, heavy traction zone here, so you might see some spinners, a lot of dust being kicked up in the background. There's the pit strategy at the bottom of your screen, but we're watching the Williams of Tay Pasta looking to the inside, and Vedran looks like he's made contact there. Sorry, Anthony made contact there with a driver just ahead of him. Is now negotiating turns 7 and 8. Calirol is still in the lead, but on the hunt is Merv Martin as Dazzy is out of the race, and that could be a safety car or a virtual safety car. I'm not sure if it's going to be or not, though, just where it is on the circuit. Everyone has now cleared it. Seeing Calirol coming around the banking of turn 13. Looking like they're all getting through rather nicely. We are down to 19 in this race. Beautiful turn 1, said Phoenix, and it really was. We're going to see if there's any position changes down into turns 14 and 15. Not just yet. As we now come around turn 16 for the first time in this Grand Prix, as we go on to lap 2. Of course, Calirol takes the fastest lap, being the first man to cross the line. And everyone was in DRS of each other when it is activated. At the moment, there is no gap separating anyone as of yet. We're seeing a move here potentially for Tay Pasta, but Crossfires does close him out at the last moment on the exit of turn 2. As they now go around the kink of turn 4 and 5. As we're now into the hairpin of turn 6. Dazzy, number 1 fan, F1 fan, is out of the session, out of the Grand Prix on lap 1. As Harry Barr, head steward, said there was no work for him there on lap 1. It was all nice and clean. Lucas A. Germany moves up a position there, up to 9th place, drops Big Weir down to 10th. He's lost 1 position in this Grand Prix. Tay Pasta has moved up 3 places. So apologies for this audio. I'm going to try and pause it and unpause it on the occasion, see if we get it a little bit better. As no DRS is enabled just yet. It will be in a few corners time, and the first time it will be able to be used is down this back straight here towards turn 14 and 15. All still very close together there. Looks like Apex is trying to get the move done there on Anthony, and does move himself up into 7th place. As we see Lucas A. Germany into the pits. Must have got himself a slight bit of damage there. And everyone will now move up. As I said, DRS is now enabled. And Merv Martin is half a second or less, just a little bit less, to Calirol in first place. Neither one has took a race win in LFR as of yet. As we see them come around turn 7 and 8 for the 3rd time. So DRS will be activated now, and it will be able to be used down this back straight coming up in a few corners time. Everyone in the top 11. Veloce Ayub has moved up 9 places. He is on a roll at the moment. Looks like nothing can stop him just yet. DRS activation point was that line just there, as you saw. Crossfire Strikes is just outside of DRS. We have got a yellow flag. We have got Neuro off the circuit there, as Merv Martin did lose a bit of ground there to his rival ahead of him in first place. He's quite late on the brakes, however, Just look behind, all these drivers bunching up, and looking like there was going to potentially be a switcheroo move there from Apex Finley, but wasn't able to get the traction out of turn 14. .5 seconds, 1.6 seconds now. The top two are in a league of their own just for the moment, with everyone else behind to 11th place, all within DRS of one another. So Crossfire Strikes is slightly vulnerable. Needs to get himself back into that window. Needs Merv Martin and Cali Rob to start fighting for position. Euro is in the pits. We're just going to check the audio settings here. As we see, the top two still within DRS. Just in the background there, Crossfire Strikes just behind. Hopefully we will get Barry back shortly. We're seeing the closest drivers together at the moment, but potentially Apex and Anthony are a little bit closer. Not going to see an overtake here. But we might do in the background. Veloce looks like he's been sent on by Civi, but he is now on the inside towards turn 16. Gets the job done there. Do really apologise if my commentary is a little bit off point. Phoenix, if you're watching, can you hear the same thing I'm hearing? Or is the audio okay? But what's not okay is Bugs Bunny spinning, but able to recover it there. Doesn't get himself a time penalty there for corner cut. Moves himself down. Now moves down to 6th place. Call it 7th place now, with Tapasta moving up as well. And Big Weir getting involved in the fight as well, with Bugs Bunny on the inside. Big Weir is going to try and go round the outside at turn 6. Doesn't get it done just yet. He's going to have to get the job done into turn 7. He does get it done. So the Aston Martin now moves himself up. He does have Bugs Bunny on his outside for company at the moment. Not company he needs right now, as he now goes into turn 9 and tries to hold on to that 7th place, and does. Veloce Ayub is alongside Civiru as they now come down towards turn 11. And Civi will now get the DRS back as Veloce just moves out of DRS range. I think he crossed the line just in time there, though. So apparently your audio is fine, which is all right. But we're seeing a battle here for 3rd place. Vedran was trying to go around the outside of Crossfire Strikes. Crossfire Strikes has elbows out as he now dives into the pits. It's early pit stops for some drivers, and trying to get themselves a little undercut, as the top two have now pulled away from the drivers behind. Now at the moment it's looking like a two-way fight for the win, but we are only on lap 6 of 28, and so pit stops are going to start happening about now. Really, as I said, hopefully it's not so bad, the audio for you. It's just because it's in my ears. I think we've got Barry, who has just joined us on lap 6. It was a very good start. It's a very good start to the race, Barry. Apologies for Barry having to go away there. He had some things to attend to.
Yeah, had to go down to the paddock, see Big Weir, find out what happened on his first lap of quali, and apparently it was a language barrier. They couldn't understand his accent properly, so they put the wrong tyre on.
Okay.
But,
well, we're seeing, Barry, the top two just pull away from the drivers behind them, and Merv is almost out of DRS range now. Cali Rob as well, but he's just keeping in there. We've had a few drivers already make their pit stops.
Let's have a look.
And see, Cali is now dived into the pits as well. Got Anthony and Vedran side by side, the two Red Bulls. Surprised neither of them went into the pits. I thought that was a battle of the pit stops there, Barry. Veloccio's come from 20th now to 4th at the start of this race. Had an excellent start to the Grand Prix. Looking like he's going to try and go on the inside of Anthony here, actually.
Do you think he might be looking for a mediums hard, maybe? One stop?
I think that's probably what he is intending on doing there. As Apex takes the fastest lap of the race on the medium tyres with a 35.296. Second to 6th place, we're all within DRS of each other, as close as always, Barry. Are you getting this weird glitch with the sound as well, like me?
What is it?
It's just echoey all the time. The Civiru is out of the Grand Prix and he's lost his rear wheel there. That could be a safety car. And that's
got to be.
Potentially, maybe not even a VSC. We're seeing an overtake here for Veloce round the outside, Barry, at turn 11. I've never seen a move done around the outside at turn 11 there, just before the detection point. Moves himself up into 3rd place now. Obviously those mediums are the optimal tyre now on lap 7.
Looks like the car has been moved.
I think Veloce might go for another one here. He is going to go for another one as he goes down the inside at the hairpin of turns 14. Switchback though for Vedran. He's going to try and hold on to position, but I think he is going to pit. He doesn't really want to fight this as he... he's lost front wing now as Veloce went directly in front of him. Veloce obviously having himself a quali ban, getting himself into a little bit of trouble last week on Monday, retiring in qualifying and himself a quali ban, and looks like he might be involved with the stewards once again this week, Barry. That seemed like a slightly dangerous move from the McLaren driver and cost Vedran bags of time.
I don't know if when he pitted there, it didn't seem as though he had to get his front wing changed. So
He did.
He did he?
Yeah.
Well, if Haribo's watching, best get your pen and paper out because the steward's office is looking a bit active.
Well, the first lap was absolutely spot on. I don't know if you got the full track map up, Barry, but the
yes.
The queue out of turn 6 hairpin of cars there, all following one another.
Is that down from 9th to 14th?
Yeah. I think these are all the drivers that have pit. You've got this little queue towards the front as well. Drivers who have started on the medium tyres outside the top 10. So you've got another yellow flag there. It's Apex, the champ, who's in the gravel. And he's now down in 17th place. Not his day today, he's spinning again.
Oh no.
And it's definitely not his day there. Kem Jazz moves up a position to 5th place. Cali Rob going down the inside, and Taylor McKenzie, the reserve.
Then there's just got the move. I'm going out on Anthony's in the pits, that's right. Getting rid of 8-lap-old soft tyres.
Where is this going to put him out? Because Crossfires is now coming down the start-finish. And I think this is going to put him out right in this queue of cars, Barry. Or right at the back of it.
All the way down to P14.
But he is on
going
the
for a
freshest.
one-stop strategy.
He has gone for a one-stop. I think a lot of the drivers are going to try a two-stop here. Maybe a soft, medium, soft, probably potentially, as Apex receives a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But Veloce, though, to be in the lead of the race with other drivers who haven't yet pitted, Barry, is certainly very impressive.
It's no mean feat.
No,
if he keeps this up, he's definitely on for driver of the day.
Yeah, well, he has had that little incident with Vedran a couple of laps ago. But apart from that, he's definitely shown some really good racecraft and pace today. Ami Aguna's in DRS of Trunders, that Alfa Romeo just ahead of him.
It does seem to start spreading the pack a bit more now. Not as clumped.
No, it's nowhere near as it was last week, but there are still fights going on here. There's a three-way fight for 10th place there. Tay Pasta comes out on top for them meanwhile. Looks like Bugs Bunny's going to definitely have a go now, with Lucas A. Germany making a big mistake there. Goes to the outside. As he gets the job done before the braking zone of turn 1. And it's this cluster of cars here, Barry, the drivers that are fighting for the race lead. But we have got Cali Rob, who's just ahead with Taylor McKenzie. The cork in the bottle now, I think, Barry.
I will say one thing about Veloce, mind, and for the Discord chat earlier on, he was stating that he wasn't a fan of China, and it was the worst time in track to have a qualification ban, but that doesn't seem to have stopped him coming from the back of the pack to the front. It's 6 seconds almost as well in the lead, man. That's outstanding.
Putting in a strong performance so far. Watching Amir Guna here. Going to try and go for an overtake. Looks like he is going to go for the overtake on the inside. Trunders stayed sort of in the middle of the circuit there, left it up to Amir Guna, and he chose the inside line as BKS goes past Chemjazz there. Merck versus Williams. Cali Rob, our net race leader at the moment, is in 6th place.
Crossfire strikes from Taylor McKenzie, battling it out into the final turn.
Oh, it's Tay there, just run him off the circuit. Just needs to be careful. Is Merv Martin going to try it as well? No, he doesn't. He thinks better of it. But then, mid-corner, he goes for it and does get it done. He's trying to follow crossfire strikes through and keep on his coattails, Barry. And Tay Pasta's now going to go for it as well. I said Taylor McKenzie was the cork in the bottle, and this is really starting to show now as they come down to the turn 6 hairpin. On the inside goes Tay Pasta. Nice work from the Williams driver there. He's got the Alpine and the Haas now. Taylor McKenzie behind, and he's going to have to try and defend slightly better. BKS looks like he's had a spot of bother there and has at, looks like turn 8, between turns 8 and 9, now loses a huge amount of position. He's got to be careful. He'll get himself disqualified if he doesn't move soon, Barry. He does now move.
I mean, you got to take a hat off to him there. He's spun out in a very awkward position in the middle of all of the cars, and he has waited patiently to come back on safely instead of causing any issues. So, you know, hats off to him. Lost a lot of positions, and he's come back on safely. Unfortunately, it's cost him a lot of paces doing it.
It has, but he did go the correct way about it. Just seeing Cali now overtake Chemjazz as he dives into the pit lane.
Maybe for the hards, I think, for Chem.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of it now. That'll be an easy run to the finish if there's no safety cars. I feel like, Barry, this race is going to just start warming up with the last 6 or 7 laps to go, I think.
He's stayed on the mediums, Cam.
Is this his second stop, or is this his...
That's his first stop.
Oh, so...
Veloce, Amaguna, Trunders, Taylor McKenzie and BKS are the only ones at the moment not to have pit.
It's going to be really interesting to see where Veloce comes out. Is he going to try and do a medium soft strategy here? But the softs just don't last at all, so it really needs to be a medium hard, and that surely is going to have to, that pit stop's going to have to be coming up very soon, because we're almost getting to half distance now.
Just a little under half distance now. And as in for Teo, where you've got Veloce with 11 laps mediums, looking down the pack a bit, you've got
Sorry, Barry, I thought I was going to see an overtake. Might see an overtake here, actually, from Trunders, who tried the switchback manoeuvre here. It's Ferrari and Alfa Romeo. They both come into the pits, actually. And this might be a fight to the pit box. And it just wasn't. Looked like Amir Guna just got it ahead of him. Not really
Kelly
seen
Robb's
that
moved
before.
up 2 spots. Oh, he pitted.
Yeah, so it's a McLaren 1-2. It was a 2-3 last week. Even better at the moment. And now this Barry is where Veloce needs a safety car now. This will just absolutely make his race if a safety car comes out anytime soon. That gap though, Barry, between Crossfire Strikes and Cali Rob is just starting to come down a little bit. And Merv Martin's keeping on the back of the Haas as well.
Do we think any team orders, sort of Perez style's going to be in effect here? To Cali Rob to try and keep the rest of the pack at bay?
Not too sure, to be honest. But it is certainly just... He's in his sights. And he's got Tay just behind them as well. Tay's in 5th place at the moment in the Williams. But it's still... I would arguably say it's not been as close as last week, but it's still super close. As I said, I think this is where the race is just going to start warming up within the next 5 or 6 laps or so. I think when the second pit stops come around for a lot of these drivers, that's where it'll start getting it a little bit more interesting.
You've got Merv Martin in the gearbox of Crossfire Strikes coming in the final turn. Taylor McKenzie and Big Weir are having a bit of a battle.
Looks like Big Weir got it done on the exit there.
Realistically, how many laps does Veloce stay out for? He's already done 13 laps. The only other person to do that many laps so far is Taylor McKenzie, who's currently on the hard tyre, who could potentially stay out a lot longer than some of these medium tyre drivers.
I'm just thinking, is the 2-stop actually going to be quicker here? Just with the degradation, actually, just seeing that time coming down, but he is sort of keeping it stable for Veloce at the moment with 13 and a quarter seconds or thereabouts between the top 2. But it is going to put him down because all these drivers are still quite close together, Barry. So I think he's going to come out about 11th or 12th, something like that.
Potentially. Like you say, the safety car is going to be fundamental to his race win if that does come. But after watching this race so far and seeing what happened last Monday, we've got some very talented drivers out here, and it's very unlikely, if I'm honest, in saying that.
Oh, say that. Another yellow flag. It's Emro, the reserve tonight. As we're seeing a potential overtake here from Chem Jazz. Goes on the inside at turn 14. With Trunders still trying to hold it. Yeah, a bit of wheel banging between the two of them. And Trunders, of course, can have the inside for the final corner. So he's able to keep that position. But is Chemjaz going to have DRS down towards turn 1? He does. He's going to look to the inside. He does look to the inside. It was so close between the two drivers there. That was nothing more than a cigarette paper between the two of them there as they come around turn 2.
Somebody get the Rizzlers out.
As Merv Martin, Barry, just made a slight mistake there. Tay Pastor is now even closer than he was before. I definitely think this is going to be a bit of a waiting game here, Barry.
It's already starting to seem like you can't put a winner on this league. You just, at the moment, it's too close to call. I know Veloce is having an absolutely blinding race at the moment, but just look how close the rest of the pack is.
Oh, sorry, Barry. Tay went for a move there into turn 14 as well as Bugs Bunny's going to try and get a move done as well. Merv Martin has now lost 2 places in 1 corner. As we come around turn 16 there, he just left the door wide open, Barry, as we're seeing Tay Pastor now extreme weaving now on the straight. He did this last week as well, one of his little tactics, crossfire strike, still having that same gap. But LGE Germany in the pits again. And I'm amazed at this gap between first and second, Barry. It stayed within that 13-second mark for ages. Absolutely
At
ages.
least 4 or 5 laps, definitely.
Callier's not really been able to gain any time back at all.
What's the pit time, would you say, for...
About 25 seconds, thereabout.
25?
Always Stinos tries to go on the inside of Vedran at turn 10. Doesn't get it done there. Don't see moves there very often. He might try it at turn 11 now.
He's just going to get the DRS coming down here.
As well as Anthony behind as well. So he is in a bit of a Red Bull sandwich at the moment. And hopefully his teammate, Anthony, will be able to help out Vedran in his defence of that 9th place. He has got Taylor just ahead of him though. He hasn't got DRS though. And Stinos is going to go around the outside. But Vedran locks up, trying to go late on the brakes there, as we've got a driver into the pits of Tay Pasta and crossfire strikes. It's all getting a little bit spicy, Barry.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Just seeing the background, the Red Bulls have just lost positions there. Anthony's actually off the circuit. And lost a lot of time there. I don't know what happened there. Made a big mistake at turn 1. There's a corner that is notorious for big mistakes. Apology for hearing my dog in the background there, because I even heard him then, so that must have been very loud. As we see Stinos just behind Taylor McKenzie. So crossfire strikes came out in 13th place, and Tay Pasta was 14th place. Barry. This is very interesting. As we see a yellow flag.
Oh, he's in the middle of the track. He's on the racing line. Oh.
And Vedran gets himself a 5-second penalty. They've all got to be careful here. So there is yellow flags out.
A lot of
a safety car has been deployed. This is what Veloce Ayub wanted, but what's he going to do? What's he going to do? I don't think the softs
He's got to go on the hards. He'll not be able to last that many laps on the softs. Then again, 10 laps, it is doable.
As we now have seen 3 drivers out of this race, we're now down to 17 drivers on lap 17 of 28. Both McLarens are in the box, and that means Veloce Ayub. He is. I think he is. He's going to come out in first place, Barry.
At the moment, Stinos is going in. Vedran's coming in. It looks like everybody is pitting at the moment.
And he does. And he is on the hard.
Amaguna's not. Amaguna's staying out.
And how many positions is this going to make up for him? As Cali Rob just goes through pit exit.
Clear past that. Staying out.
Oh, as he gets past Bugs Bunny just. So he's in 3rd place. That was a good risk to take there for Amaguna.
Now, this could play into the hands to Apex Finley as well. He's had a bit of a nightmare race so far. Been able to get the time back up. It's 3-lap old hard tyres. Is he going to pit? Is it worth it? You need to put the mediums on?
Yeah, probably would be worth it, to be fair, because he's not going to lose a position, is he? As everyone is still on the lead lap as well, Barry, so we're not going to get any back markers in the way.
He stayed out. Apex stayed out.
Interesting. It's a shame. If it had been about 2 or 3 more laps, I think we could have seen some people risking the softs.
Now, Trundaz and Vedran have both opted for softs, as too has LGE Germany.
Oh yeah, we'll have a quick look at the tyre situation here. Trundaz and Vedran opted for soft tyres as well as LGE Germany. That is interesting. They want this. They need this safety car to stay out at least another 2 more laps to make that at all possible.
So, with regards to tyre wear at the moment, we're probably looking at maybe lap 20 for the restart. With the tyre selections everyone's got, who would you put your money on at the moment? Bearing in mind you've got Veloce on hards, Cali Rob on mediums. Cali Rob was keeping up at the top with Veloce during there, keeping that 13 seconds.
Honestly, anyone in the top 9 at the moment. I think the soft runners have probably took a bit too much of a gamble, but you never know. As Bob Lazar says, Stinos for the win. He is down in 9th place, so he has got a lot of work to do to get himself up on that podium at least, or at the top step of the podium. So we're on lap 19 now. I have a feeling, Barry, we might have another lap after this one, just seeing when Euro is on the circuit. Maybe.
He does have pedal to the metal though, so fingers crossed. Couple of straights for him to go through.
But what is going to happen with Veloce? He's on the hard tyre. He's not on the tyre he really wanted to be on at the end of the race. As I said, he probably would have wanted safety car to come out in 2 or 3 more laps, but he might have pitted by then. So we just don't know. But as I said, he is on the hard tyre. He's on the hardest compound of the range you get. As Harry says, Veloce for the win. Coming back from a quali ban like that, my driver of the day so far.
It has been an outstanding race so far for Veloce. No matter what happens now, you know, if he does finish in P4, P5 or outside of the podium spots, you know, my hat is firmly tilted and taken off. Such a drive. I think at the end of the day, did he want the safety car? Was he hoping for it?
Yes.
Because like you said, he's had to go onto the hard compound.
He has obviously had a little bit of luck on his side, but I think with any sort of race, when you've got to have some form of luck to get it. We are getting the last car catching up to the back of the queue now. Is he going to call it?
Another spin?
Is it going to?
Oh, he's pitted.
Is it going to call it this late? Has it called it already, or have we not?
I didn't see it.
No, it hasn't. So Apex hasn't caught up. I think we're going to do another lap of this. I think we're going to do one more lap, and I think
this is going to play into the hands of the soft tyres.
Yeah, it is. I got a feeling that Apex has kind of done this on purpose, so that might have to get a little bit of a look at from the stewards after the race, Barry. So
he was on the hard compound before the start of this.
He was, yeah, and he could have pitted, so I think the stewards will have to have a little look at that, because that is meant one more less lap of racing, Barry. Might not. Little unsportsmanlike comes to mind, I think.
Yeah.
He hasn't even caught up to the pack yet.
Just looking back on the comments here, and Bob Lazar saying Stinos for the win. I'm just having a look at the fastest lap times here, and he's just under half a second faster than Veloce on his fastest lap. So, it could be an outside dog here, if you can maintain that speed throughout the next, 7 laps.
Yeah, it'll be 8 laps when we cross the line. We'll get going on lap 21 and 28, because this is usually the last lap of the safety car. It usually doesn't do any more than 3. So Apex has caught up to the back, and the end of sector 2 is just down this straight. So Veloce is going to have a lot of time to back up the field. So some final sectors are a little bit shorter than this track, so obviously the longer the final
safety
sector.
car is in this lap.
Yeah,
has been confirmed.
The red lights are off that. Lights are off that red Mercedes. Now we'll just let that car pull away. just seeing Veloce. He is going to need to have his tyres as warm as possible here to have himself any decent chance. You've had BKS actually come off the circuit. So Phoenix says he predicts turn 1 chaos when we get going. I think Veloce he has gone. So that was very, very early. That was before turn 14. I think he's caught a lot of the drivers off guard, including Cali Rob, who's got a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Apex Finley. Not good there. I don't think Apex got himself a penalty as well, but he has got himself a couple of seconds there. Side by side, the Ferrari and the Alpine of Amir Guna and Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny gets that move done, and the Alpha Tauri follows through with Merv Martin trying to go through. Retirement there for Apex Finley. The champ is out of the race 2 here at the Chinese Grand Prix, as well as BKS. There was a bit of chaos at the start of the safety car restart as the Haas of Crossfire Strikes now tries an opportunistic move on the Ferrari of Amir Guna, but doesn't get the job done. It's Dutchman versus Dutchman, as they were side by side there through turn 7, side by side again through turn 8. Round the outside goes the Haas, and he gets that move done. Great move from Crossfire Strikes there. That could be move of the race. As we go towards the front, 1.3 seconds separate the top 2, Barry. They got a 2-3 last race. It's looking like a 1-2 for the McLarens in this second race.
Once again, it's very tight at the moment. There's about, 4-5 seconds. The whole entire grid at the moment. It's still anybody's game at the moment.
So Lucas A. Germany has just got past Chemjazz. We've seen Vedran go on the inside of Trunders at turn 14. We've got a yellow flag. Is that a car off the road just ahead? It's Callie. It looks like he's had an instant there. Veloce has now got himself even more breathing space. And Callie's going to try and go the long way round. It's going to be 3 wide into turn 1. As looks like they all get away scot-free there. The Haas of Crossfire Strikes really trying to get his foot down and get through as he makes contact with Cali Rob there as they come around turn 2. As they're still side by side coming up the hill and back down again to the hairpin of turn 6. Crossfire Strikes just gets past, but not if Cali Rob has anything to say about it. Tries to go around the outside in defence of that 4th place, but now has to concede the position to Crossfire Strikes. The temperature is definitely rising, Barry, in the last few laps. As we see, Stinos and Vedran are both round at turn 8. And there is yellow flags in sector 2.
What's happening with Vedran?
It is all kicking off at the end of this Chinese Grand Prix. We've got 6.5 laps to go in this race. Big Weir is sizing up a move on the Ferrari ahead of him. Overtake is enabled. No DRS just yet. Doesn't need it though. Good old slipstream for the Aston Martin. Goes on the inside. Medium versus hard tyres. Just squeezing them out. Gives them just enough space, but not enough to get good traction. And Big Weir moves up to 7th place with DRS now enabled. And Merv Martin is out and round. And safety car deployed.
Oh, we're going to see a lot of people. Well, we'll see people pit for softs.
We will.
I think it's only going to be the back runners. I can't see any of the top 10, maybe top 6, maybe pitting here. Potentially two laps of the safety car. It's going to be a nail biter.
It is, and Veloce Ayub is still in the lead. He's doing his very own last to first challenge, and it's paying off so far. We've got a few laps to go in this race. We have a couple of laps under the safety car again. I think it's a really difficult one for Veloce because it's just like Hungary, Barry, last year with Hamilton at the start of the race. And he was the first man, and he didn't know what to do, and that was obviously from mixed conditions, but I suppose it's the same applies for this. He's on the hard. He doesn't really want to be on the hard, but is everyone behind going to try and take track position? And would he have enough? He won't have anywhere near enough laps to get the positions back.
It's going to be a big gamble. It really is for Veloce here. But you know, we've seen his pace. We can see how fast he's been from going from P20 all the way to P1. If he goes in now, is he going to come out 12th? Maybe 11th?
He'll come out 10th. He will come out 10th. He doesn't pit. He's staying out. Bugs Bunny is staying out. Crossfire Strikes is staying out. No one, as Barry said, and I was wrong, Barry was right, as he predicted.
Chemjazz is in.
Luke Germany is still on those soft tyres, and this safety car is certainly going to help his performance now for the rest of this race. So that tyre life is just being preserved a little bit with these couple of laps under the safety car. The soft runners who pitted may have pulled us, maybe been a bit of a dark horse here. Chemjazz is going to come out in 10th place on the soft tyres, the first man of the fresh tyres. Keep an eye out for the Williams of Chemjazz. As I said,
this is getting tasty.
It was a Korma earlier on, ladies and gentlemen. We've now got ourselves a bit of a Madras now with a few laps to go in this race, but it is getting hotter. We're going to have one of those ghost chilies very soon with a couple of laps to go.
Give me a Balti. I'm alright.
As Crossfires is very, very close to Bugs Bunny and almost getting alongside him there. Maybe the mind games are happening now, Barry. We're certainly going to do one more lap of this safety. And if we do one more lap, which I think we will do, we'll have one lap of DRS.
But everyone's going to have full batteries. So
they're going to get 33% per lap. This is so exciting. And if this is going to be a good one for me to do on the highlights reel. It's all going to happen at the very end. I can be hopefully we'll be able to keep it clean. We have only got 14 drivers left in this race. Neuro's the only reserve left. We've had some carnage in this race. Big Weir called it earlier on, said there would be quite a few spinners, as this Shanghai International Circuit feels very, very different on F1 2021 compared to 2020. As Big Weir said earlier, as I quote, doesn't have as good a flow as it did last year's game.
It's starting to get a little bit dark as well, so
it is.
Potentially more drama.
I don't think we can get any more drama, Barry. I don't think we can get any more, as we're just waiting for this safety car to come in, and it will come in. I think
I'm going to do my rain dance. Come on, Rain! Come on, Rain!
It will come in on lap 26. Veloce got himself a hell of a restart last time out on lap 21. But people are going to know what he did last time, Barry, so you're going to have to think of something a little bit different.
Does he wait until the final turn and take it there?
As I say every week, Barry, only time will tell on this one. I have no idea who's going to win this race. Everyone are on old tyres all the way to 9th place, or oldish. Shami Agoon is on the oldest set in that range. Chemjazz is on the newest tyres of the whole grid and the first man of the fresh tyres, so he might pull himself up a few positions. But Veloce did start in 20th place. We're going to see safety car in this lap. There we go. Safety car is in this lap. Veloce started in 20th place, is running in first place. He can take his first win of the season, and arguably, Barry, potentially the best race win if he gets there of LFR in the whole year that we've been running this league. I don't think we've ever had. I think we had it one other time with Dark Stomper actually in Austria in season 1 of last, the first challenge. But
hashtag meme racing.
Hashtag meme racing, and he's warming up those tyres again. trying to get a good view, but it's all on board at the moment as he's just waiting for that safety car who is coming around the hairpin. He's just picking up the pace just a little bit, just teasing the start. He didn't go too extreme, as we will see him probably fire it away now, as he might wait, like Barry said, until the start finish. And I think he's gone now, but he couldn't use the element of surprise so much this time. We see Crossfire Strikes going off the road just a little bit there. The clouds are starting to come in. We're on lap 26 to 28. We've got 2 and a bit laps to go now as we come on to the third to last lap of this race. As we see Tay Pasta go down the inside of Cali Rob there at turn 1, on the exit of turn 1, and gets the job done through turn 2.
Harry Bowes has commented in the chat there, 5 laps to go in a safety car. Deja vu, luckily it's not lapped cars to unlap themselves.
Controversial talk there, Harry. Controversial talk there. We see a 3-second penalty for Lucas A. Germany as they go side by side. He goes side by side with Amir Guna around turn 7 and 8. Gets the move done through turn 7. But we will try and stick with the front runners for the last couple of laps. Barry is really all to play for in the last 2.5 laps, or 2 1/3 lap now as we come into sector 3.
Just to remind people that DRS is not activated yet. Not for another lap.
We're going to have lap 27 without DRS as well, and then the final lap of lap 28, there will be DRS enabled. And Bugs Bunny has pretty much come from sort of nowhere in this race. He's had a very quiet one. He's moved up 4 places.
Bit of a shout out at the moment for Maguna as well, moving up 11 places since the start of the race.
Yep. Bugs Bunny though is so close, but Veloce is going to have to do the defence of his LFR career here, Barry. I think to get this win, he's got about 1.5 laps to go to get that win, as Stinos moves himself up into 9th place. Big Weir's got himself into a good position in 6th place, just behind this queue of cars behind. Crossfire Strikes is in contention for this win as well as Tay Pastor, who won last week and is in 4th place, bagging himself some good points. Obviously the championship is a marathon, not a sprint, as he knows so well from season 1, as Amir Guna and Stinos are challenging each other for positions there. The yellow flag again, that's the Merc of Neuro. There is going to be no VSCs or safety cars for the rest of this race. Cali Rob looks like he's going to go for a move here at the hairpin as we get down to the braking zone. And Tay Pasta locks up there, tries to hold it round the outside, is still trying to hold it, but gets onto the curb and now makes contact with Cali Rob. And Cali now takes that position. That was close to an aeroplane accident there. DRS is now enabled and we're on the final lap of this Chinese Grand Prix for Monday's Limitless 1. It's been another spectacle, as well as last week, and Tay is round at turn 1 on the last lap. We had a spinner last week of Anthony spinning, and he's now just getting back on the circuit. We've got Trunders and Chemjazz who are fighting together. We've got 4 cars here through turn 2, all scrambling for positions. Looks like Tay's going to get himself involved in more collisions here. 2 tenths though, Barry, separate the top 2.
Tay Pasta. Very naughty move by him there.
We will go to the front though, Barry. These all happening at the back, but there's 1 second that separate the top 2, and Bugs Bunny sends it down the inside, as well as the Haas of Crossfire Strikes, and gets the move done, as well as Cali Rob, who's trying to go around the outside of his McLaren teammate, but doesn't get the job done just yet. Bugs Bunny takes the lead on the last lap, but Crossfire Strikes is going to have DRS, and they are going to weave. Crossfires is going to have to go around the outside as we come down towards the final corner. Crossfires now takes the inside line. Veloce is going to go down on the inside, and a pair of them as they come together. It's carnage on the last lap. Gloves are off for all of these drivers. Crossfires is round and into the wall as Bugs Bunny looks like he's going to take the win in the second race of Monday's Limitless 1 and does, and wins the Chinese Grand Prix under controversial circumstances there for some of these drivers towards the front. The aggression came out, the gloves are off in the final lap, Barry.
Absolutely outstanding. What a race. What an absolute race that was.
It's a McLaren 2-3 again. The papaya orange team there are getting some consistent points. That was a hell of an end. I think Veloce does deserve driver of the day there.
100%.
But I think the stewards are going to have to look at that last lap a little bit there, because Veloce sent it. I think he sent that from Japan, Barry. It was so far back how far he sent that. As Robin says, Veloce, what did he do? And he did do a move for the lead of the race. Tried to take two of them on the inside at turn 14, but ended up having some incidents with crossfire strikes, so the stewards will have to get involved in that, I'm sure, at the end. But looks like Bugs Bunny kept it all nice and clean, Barry, and took the win from 6th place on the grid. Callirol came home in 2nd place for the 2nd week in a row. Veloce came in 3rd for the 2nd week in a row as well. Stenhouse was in 4th. Big Weir is going to be happy with that 5th place. Lucas A. Germany was in 6th. 7th was Anthony. Amir Guna was in 8th. Chemjazz 9th. Vadrant was 10th. Crossfire Strike was 11th. 12th was MSC Transis. 13th was Taypas and Euro was 14th. Martin, BK, Apex Finley, Taypasta, Sibi and Dazzy did not finish this race. Well, Barry, sum that one up.
Take a breath. That was a bit of a hectic race. I mean, first off, just say a massive sort of well done to BKS for biding his time returning to the track. And it's just a little thing, but you know, it makes a lot of difference when the admin have to get involved with things there. So well done to him. Veloce, unbelievable race today, very unfortunate. I mean, a 90% flawless race, I would say, all in all. Very entertaining stuff.
It certainly was a real show factor of entertainment, that race. Again, a lot of these drivers have got a lot to be proud of. Tomorrow, take a breath. Tomorrow is the United States Grand Prix for Tuesday's Limitless 2. So check that one out with Chemjazz. Thursday, as you saw last week from Formula 4, is back at Spain for its second race of 12 in the calendar. Is a shorter calendar, but we've got the reverse grid format for the race. So this is week 2 format with the 25% sprint, and whoever wins that race will get 25 points like you do in a normal Grand Prix. The normal points positions for an F1 Grand Prix happens in the second week of sprint, and then the grid will be reversed. So first place will start in last, and so on and so forth, and that will be Spain. But what you really want to know is what's coming up next week in Monday. It's the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We're going to a track, Barry, that shows no quarter, and we may see some more hair-raising action in that one. Obviously, we've got the huge, long start-finish straight, and I'm sure to see some big moves into turn 1. Anything else to add, Barry, before we end?
Just next week's race, it's definitely going to be a showcase of ability for these drivers on Monday night. I mean, my first appearance on Monday night, and I can safely say I will be back.
Well, there you go. You've heard it here first. So we'll see you tomorrow with Chemjazz for Tuesday's Limitless 2 back here with me. Next Monday for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share and subscribe to the video. I'll see if we've got any subs after this race. If you haven't done it already, please do so now. If you want to join the league, let us know in the comments below. We'll get you a reserve role until the seat becomes available if you want a full-time seat. If not, if you want to reserve for any of the days, you're more than welcome to. I've been King's Own, your host. He's been Mr. Basil, and we'll see you next week for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.